Wrestling Sheet Radio. I'm your host, ProWrestlingSheet.com editor-in-chief, Ryan Satin, here with my co-hosts, Jamie Iovine.
How you guys doing?
Nice.
That's a monster.
Yeah, it wasn't a beer. It sounded cooler
not a
for
beer.
audio people.
Yeah.
And Elijah Bates.
I don't have a sound. Wait, hold on a sec.
I'm sorry, I had to.
Both of
I had
those
to
weren't that cool.
I had
So.
to steal from the Pritchard show. I apologize.
Well,
I've always wanted to do it.
Well, I'm glad you got that out of your system.
This is what this show's about, Ryan. Living dreams.
yeah. Monster Energy Dream.
I hope you guys enjoyed last week's show where we had the full old school Sheet podcast crew back together. It was
Brought
nice.
back fond memories.
It did bring back some fond memories of my living room when we
Yeah.
first started the show
Wow.
and the Dash Radio
Yeah,
days.
actually, when I drove over to your side of town a couple of days ago, and it reminded me of like driving to the old house actually to record the show.
Yeah, we got to. Eli and I hung out this week for a minute. He went hiking with Erica, so we hung out.
How'd
and,
that go?
Great.
And we, when he came back, he saw me playing WWE 2K, and he was amazed at all the customization that the game.
So
So you had never seen it?
No, like I like, and not only that, like I mean, I've seen the level of detail that you can go into, like modifying a character's appearance and everything like that. So to see it on,
But you never like been there while someone else was doing it because you're not really a gamer.
No, like I mean, but that having been said, there like. It reminds me of other creative players, like including No Mercy on
Way
N64
more
had a
intricate.
pretty detailed one too.
To my, I wish I mean, 2K would add. They do it, I guess, with the preset cut, like the preset models and stuff.
Yeah.
But it gets to the point where it's like eyebrow arch, and I'm like, oh my god, I
Me
don't.
too.
I know.
That's the main reason I don't make characters that much anymore.
I don't.
Is because the people who make them and the community creations are so good at it. That,
So good.
And they do the faces and everything that I'm
Nose
just,
freckles.
I
Yeah,
leave it
shit
alone.
like that. I'm serious.
But when I searched, I wanted to make Bayou. I wanted to make Bayou Bates the character that Eli always wanted to be. And when I searched Skinner, it looked a lot like Eli.
You just renamed it?
And so I just renamed it and made some changes to it and kind of made
the
we changed the beard a little
changes
bit.
made it better. He's more voodoo-y, which
Yeah.
is my,
More
definitely my
voodoo-y.
taste.
Gave him a cool entrance. I gave him a finishing move after you left. Now he's got a full move
What was
set.
it?
Well, I gave him Jake the Snake's move set
Okay.
because he's kind of like just a
He's snaky.
yeah. He's snaky. He's old school.
If I had to like put together two wrestlers, I'd call him. Never mind, I can't think of it.
Whenever I mean,
Jake the Snake
Snake,
was one.
Snaky Shango.
That's kind of the vibe I had
Yeah.
of the character. That's what I thought. So yeah, he has Jake the Snake's moves, and then his finisher is
Papa Snake Man.
his
That's
fi-
what we call him.
His finisher is he gets him in the torture rack,
Okay.
but then he like shoots him up like into the air and slams him down.
Okay.
Is that not cool enough? Is that not?
Let me think about
What
it.
was Bayou's? Did you?
yeah,
did-
what, that's a good question. We
I
never
didn't
we
know-
never knew how he won.
Bayou
Yeah.
was
Like his
more
matches.
like
A submission guy?
Bayou was way because I was a trampoline kid, so Bayou was way more of a luchador style wrestler.
See, I
I feel
wouldn't
like
expected
no,
that
I
from that
expect him to be
character.
like some weird finisher, like the claw.
You guys-
Yeah, well, see, I gave him real
yeah, and then that he should have a signature move like that.
like what the hell? No,
so his signature is the chokeslam backbreaker.
that's a good one.
That seemed
Okay.
ish.
I feel like he should have one that's a little bit more quick. Like I don't look at him as like a strong guy as much as he's cunning.
Okay, cunning, yes. Luchador vibe I didn't get from him. It
hey.
seems like a weird luchador.
But imagine this. What if you saw a guy like Bayou do a Frankensteiner to an alligator?
That would be cool. Also,
Do you not like that image in your
You
head?
saw me picturing it.
Yeah.
I was like,
It's awesome. A man's doing
always-
a Frankensteiner to an alligator? That'd be incredible.
I mean, whenever I don't want to put a moveset in, like I don't feel like assigning each one, I
Yeah.
just do a Chris Benoit moveset because nobody's using it.
does he have a preset?
Somebody somebody who does
so
upload
yeah,
it, and
I
I
see
just
what you're saying.
download the Chris Benoit moveset because I love his moves. They're great.
Yeah.
And nobody on the roster has them because he's dead. So
And well, more so because he's a murderer.
and he's a murderer, and he doesn't exist in the world of WWE anymore.
but he
so-
does belong in the Hall of Fame. Just
yeah.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
Like, what if somebody just like started just doing everything he used to do except murder children?
Well, he didn't murder multiple children, but I get your sentiment.
You know what I'm saying? You know, like, what if he just, like, what are they going to say? Like, oh, it was Crispin Wars move. It's like, well, he was a piece of shit, and it's not going to be remembered anymore.
Yeah,
so.
but then it makes
Would you be looked upon as a heel immediately because you're using his moveset, though?
You can't just steal Chris Benoit's moveset and be like, oh, well, we're not talking about Chris Benoit, so fuck it.
No,
Like,
hey, I would react like this if somebody confronted me. I'd be like, oh, they are kind of similar.
But what? It's going to be the elephant in the room that nobody can talk about.
Especially when you do like the whole throat cut.
They're going to be like,
gesture.
should we say something?
I've got full taunts and
Hey,
everything.
not only that, throw up the 4.
Oh my god.
Like, I mean, go real deep with it if you're gonna do it. Oh shit!
Have the full like tights with the scratches on them.
I wouldn't go that far.
I feel like I'm going to get some sort of hate mail with this. I feel like I just...
We had a whole combo on Collider Live the other day where like Christian was trying to say that he doesn't feel like Chris Benoit was an evil person or shouldn't be looked at as an evil person.
I mean,
It's a really gray area.
but it's not. He
No,
killed
It is because yes, he did murder a child, but also when they
And his
opened
wife.
his brain, it was mush, dude.
Still.
like, no, horrible thing he did. But I mean, if I were to think like, could he have like a nervous breakdown and that happened? Absolutely.
I'm not debating that. But like I'm just saying, Jamie, if your brain, and the same thing I told Christian, if your brain became mush for some reason and you went and killed your child and your wife, I wouldn't think you were a good person anymore.
No, but but would I go to jail?
No, you. Well, if,
you would have killed
you
yourself.
would have killed yourself.
Well,
if
if
you
I
were
had
the Chris Benoit
survived. If I had
scenario.
survived.
Well, if you survive, you should go to jail.
No,
yes.
jail, but probably a mental institution after further.
Yeah,
after
you
mental
would go
review.
to like one of those penitentiaries that are meant for the criminally insane.
That's my point.
You know,
I don't
like
know if you
it'd be
would,
like
because I don't know if you would because and I didn't know him personally, and this is not the topic I plan on getting into it, but I don't think you would because like Aaron Hernandez didn't. He killed someone, and his brain was pretty mushy, if I recall, and he went to
that was
regular
also
jail.
Well, here's the thing. As with most things, every circumstance is different.
Yeah, but Chris Benoit was getting through life. He was a functioning part of society.
Yes, but also we all know that these things it could just snap. It happens.
Yeah,
and
you go to jail.
And no, it's two different. You're looking at it very black and white.
Yes.
At a very gray area, and it's what was done was a horrible thing.
Yes.
It was detestable. It was almost out of a horror movie. But the fact of the matter is, do I think that Chris Benoit in 1988, 1990, would he have done that? No.
That's not what
I
the
don't think
question
so.
is, though.
No, I think it was this also. I don't think it was a different frame of thought. I think his brain legitimately went nuts. He was writing to Eddie Guerrero as if he was alive.
So
dude.
is
He was-
Aaron Hernandez not an evil person?
No, I think he
killed himself.
He
Yeah,
killed
in jail.
someone and himself.
Yeah, I also think I don't know if he was true with Aaron Hernandez. I don't know if he was truly evil because he very well could have been. Like I said, it's varying levels of brain damage.
Fine,
Like
let's get to a much more positive topic.
You're so black and white with it.
I am. I think that murder is murder.
It's terrible. It's terrible. But of course it's murder.
Yeah, but if it wasn't a wrestler who's.
But do I
moves we
think he
all
would have
love-
done it if he didn't have concussion after concussion after concussion? I don't think so.
I don't either. But that doesn't mean I don't think he's an evil person. That should be looked at as an evil person. He should be, in my opinion.
Okay.
Fair. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
If you notice, I barely got into this topic.
Yeah.
Good. I wish I didn't. That was because
Let's get to a much friendlier topic. Let's get to the biggest story of the week, and that, in my opinion, is WWE moving. They're moving their headquarters.
literally.
Hey, wait! Before I saw your hashtag, I literally was in bed when I read that story, and I went, "End of an era."
Right? That's the only thing I could think. I was
No,
sitting
like
there
Titan Towers, like that's been a. That's
from
like a classic wrestling phrase that you only know if you're like deep into wrestling. Like you would never know what Titan Towers are otherwise, or that the WWE's in Stanford.
It's funny too because they're always referred to as New York.
Yeah.
But they're
Yeah.
in Stanford.
Yeah.
They're
Connecticut.
good 45-minute drive.
Yeah.
Dude.
Have you've probably been there, right?
Yeah.
Titan Towers?
Countless times.
Countless times?
Yeah, when I was with the company, absolutely.
You had to go in and out of there, that kind of
Yeah, I mean, my desk wasn't there. My desk was at 120 Hamilton. Is
that the production facility?
Production. I think that's what they called. I think that was the street. I don't remember
Which
anymore.
they're also abandoning soon.
That's where I worked over there. And but I had a lot of dealings in the main Titan Tower,
Yeah.
so I was there quite often. And man. That place is a dump.
Yeah.
It's
an old building.
Is it really?
It's a 30-year-old building at the very least.
They've been there since 1985.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong. They've tried to dress it up like when I was there. I mean, you've even seen it on whenever Kathy Kelly does any of her stuff. They really tried to make it like a. It's funny because they really tried to make it like a Silicon Valley type look with like all the desks are the same and like there's no walls and shit. But even then,
is it like an open?
Some parts are,
okay.
Some aren't. All the executives are closed off.
But I mean, the underlings.
Yeah, like
open
it's all
floor
communal.
plan.
Yeah, it's open.
End of the day, it's an old office.
It's an
building.
old office in a terrible city.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Well, we're not leaving Stamford.
I know, and which I was kind of hoping that I kind of felt for all my coworkers who still work there. I was like, God, they don't have to go to Stanford anymore. That's awesome. And
I wonder if
nope.
Did they consider going anywhere else outside of Stanford?
I feel like it has to be one of those situations that was very similar to TMZ when we were working there. When I was working there, how for a long time it was in Hollywood, and that was like the center of entertainment, you know, and then finally once it became successful enough,
when was Stanford in the center of anything?
Well, no. Well, I was gonna say then Harvey was like, well, I know that we're in the center of Hollywood where everything's going on, but I would rather be closer to my home. So he moved
to Playa Vista.
He moved the office to Playa Vista where nobody lived.
Yeah.
Was not near anything in Hollywood. It was a mission away from
The
everything.
other reason that I thought they did that is because it's like just down the street from LAX, and I know that there's a lot of footage that comes from there, but.
Not why. It was strictly because near where Harvey lived and where Charles lived.
So,
and that's why I don't think they'll leave Stanford, because I think that's
too close to Vince.
It's too close to Vince. Vince
lives there.
He's old. I don't see. I would have said I don't see it happening until Vince passes away or leaves. But
now
this thing
like,
says
they're sinking their teeth into this.
The announcement says that it's going to be their new building is for a 16.5-year lease. Just a long lease.
Yeah. Vince will be dead by the time that's
for sure.
That's why I said that. I would have normally said that I would have thought that once Vince passes away, they'd leave that they'd move somewhere else because they don't need to be in Stanford anymore because of Vince. But when I see that, I don't think that anymore. It also says like I believe that it's 16.5 years, and then.
God, where will we be by then?
And then I know, right? And then after that,
on an island.
Hopefully, you would have won already.
Hopefully.
Hey, say Wataneo.
Yeah.
Yeah. In Shawshank.
But then I believe it says that they have options every 5 years after that. So like they're not locked in too long, but they are still locked in for a long time. And the place they're moving into is okay. I'm not a big Wall Street kind of a guy, but it's the former UBS building, I believe, in Stanford, which at one point in time was home to the largest trading floor in all of Wall Street or whatever. And
it looks like a big campus that they're moving on to.
It's a big campus-ish thing, and also, when I mentioned that trading floor and you mentioned the open floor plan, if you look, like, this floor plan was able to, it has that big of a thing
that thing's
for
going to be
floor plan. So that's going to be all of them now in one zone like that.
Yeah, they're going Silicon Valley with that.
They're going full
it's just
Silicon Valley.
full open floor plan with like mobile, like contained offices that they can plunk places.
Rising desks.
Yeah, a lot of people standing.
That's my favorite part of my office.
Like one of those standing desks?
Yeah, the ones like.
Wait, people have ones that move them, move up or down?
Yeah,
I've never seen that.
Yeah, I have one that like you can adjust the size.
A bunch of people at my work have those too. Like immediately when I saw the picture, I was like, I've worked on a bunch of campuses now at this point that look exactly like that. Like a lot of like creative campuses have now turned into things where like even like senior level like employees don't have offices and stuff like that. They're just part of the noise.
Me and James were talking about this, James McKenna, and on Twitter briefly, if anything, 2 tweets.
You guys both work for WWE, so it makes sense.
Yeah, but we were just saying how crazy there is like a sort of office out in LA that's mostly geared towards WWE studios.
Yep.
But they've never really had any sort of West Coast operations whatsoever.
I tried to get a job there once, and it was like, we don't really have that many jobs here unless you work in a movie studio.
Same thing I heard too. They were like, there's nothing really to do here.
There's like a few people here, and they didn't want to let me be in the PR department, so I was like, okay. Back when I was leaving TMZ. But I because it's an old building, I get it. But it's just there
No,
is
but
such
it's
a
like,
rich
hey,
history with that building.
it's like whenever, like I've never experienced this because my parents are divorced, but I know a lot of people who are like, my parents sold my childhood home. And it's like, I get it because like at a certain point in your existence, you get to a point where it's like the space is no longer serving me in the way that I need it to.
I remember when my brother passed away, I tried to go to the house that we grew up in, and I was a mess. I wouldn't have let me in either, but I went to the door and I was sad 'cause my brother had just died.
Yeah.
And I like knock on the door. And by the time she answered the door, I was like a fucking sobbing mess.
Wow.
And I was like, can I please just like, I grew up in this house. Can I please just like walk into a room that my brother and I grew up in? And she was like holding her baby and she was like, no, definitely not. I don't know who you are. And I was like, okay, got it. Sorry.
Kind of makes
realized
sense.
how crazy that was. And then I
But I know you definitely had like long hair.
Oh, wow. If the roles had been reversed, I 100,000% never would have let that person
I
into
wouldn't
my
even
home.
have opened the door.
She was clearly home alone with her child. Like,
Yeah,
I'm surprised too that she even opened the door. Yeah.
I'm surprised she didn't like call the police on you. This crying man at the door. Please let me in this room that my brother and I used to hang out in. It's like, no.
Yeah,
You're gonna kill me. No.
In retrospect, it definitely wasn't a good idea. I mentioned this on Twitter today, and people seem to love the idea.
Okay.
Where it was and I don't think it's practical, obviously, but I do think it'd be a cool thing if they were to buy. If it's not buy, they don't have to buy it. If they were not sell Titan Tower and turn it into their actual Hall of Fame, the site of their actual Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Should be a 6-story Hall of Fame. Shit.
Like I think it's a pretty big bill. Unfortunately, I don't think that like you have to do so much work to a building like that to like retrofit it and make it work as a museum of sorts. Let's say as like an entertainment museum, it would cost a lot of money to outfit it like that. Likewise, the idea that they would spend that much money on something that stands a lower chance of tourism since it's not directly located in New York or like a hub where people actually travel to.
Yeah, and I saw.
Well, it's like when the Pontiac Silverdome was before it got demolished. There were people that were like, "Why won't WWE just buy this? Because it's such a huge part of their history." And it's like because it doesn't make economic sense, and they're a company.
I feel like that makes less economic sense in this one because they are still leasing the building. I imagine.
I got a question for you.
No, because they're selling it. They own the building at this point.
Do you think that the WCW Power Plant building is still standing?
Probably
I don't
not.
even know where that is.
It's somewhere in Georgia, I believe. I think it's outside of Atlanta.
You know what?
Because they were the Omni and CNN Center were right next to each other. Are I don't know if they are currently, but they were, and that's why they ran at the Omni all the time, and they ran everything out of the CNN Center. Like all of Turner's operations ran out of there. But like I think the power plant was like majorly disconnected from it.
You know what I'm gonna see is kind of a bummer to see go, and only a few people really appreciate it. Is the gym. That they have there because they didn't change it.
Yeah.
Even when I was there, it was the same as when you see in all the Ico Pro commercials. It looked exactly the same.
When Shane was training Vince,
it looked all that shit. It was exactly the same.
That's
and
pretty
I loved
cool.
it. And I loved.
They used that so many times over so many periods of history.
And it was right. It was in the lot. I mean, it was under the building.
Yeah.
Like any employee could go work out there.
Did you ever work out there?
No, because I wasn't into working out back then. So
Okay.
I saw it.
Yeah.
Walked in. It was cool.
That's kind of a bummer.
Yeah. In hindsight, I kind of wish I used it, but
I found an old thread
just
on
once, just to say that I did.
I found an old thread
Go on.
about the power plant. That's
You know why I'm extra bummed I didn't do it? Because my coworkers would say, "Yeah, Vince would just pop in every once in a while, and he would spot you sometimes."
That's
awesome. Let's go.
That'd be so intimidating.
Like I'd be like, I was like, so how much you want, kid? 180. Why not?
40?
Just say the most you.
I'll do whatever you're doing.
Yeah, whatever you're doing, and just die.
I can't find it. I'm not sure if it still exists.
The power plant?
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd
I'd
be
like
interesting.
to know too. I'm not sure. The
I
site,
feel like the power plant was just a warehouse with a bunch of.
that's why I wondered if it was just standing still.
Because when DX didn't they go to the power plant? And there was like some like rundown old building like an outer like somewhere
I feel like
in Georgia.
there was no glitz and glamour.
No. It was
Just
like
the Sarge yelling at people, real sweaty.
Yeah,
Right? Wasn't that his name, the Sarge?
yeah. People hated that
Yeah,
guy.
people did not like that guy.
That having been said, I don't know. Maybe he was just part of the job.
Because I heard you guys talking while I was looking at it, I heard you guys talking about the gym at Titan Towers. I feel like the gym is such an 80s like thing that's
Yeah.
still in
Like,
there.
dude, they didn't change a thing. The only thing they changed was they clipped the F on the neon W.
Dumb. Why?
I-
God.
Do you think
I don't get it because nobody else would see it except.
I just got so upset when I heard that.
Do you think Vince recreates that room
I
at the
would.
new Titan Tower, or does he go like The Rock status where he gets new super state of the art gym?
I mean,
I'll
he
do.
probably would because he's all about superior performance.
Yeah.
But man, that gym is so special. Like
I feel like you got to at least take the neon lights.
I
know
think that there will be some accent of like the old look in the new one, but the new one will be all its own thing though too.
That's my guess, too.
If only the only reason I say that is just like there were emotional touch points that I had with WWE specific locations for a long time. Say Madison Square Garden. The idea that they didn't keep having like the 10-year anniversaries of WrestleMania at Madison Square Garden, almost like it's like why don't you do that? That'd be so special. Like to keep doing it at the Garden, and then when they stopped doing that, there was part of me that was like, oh, of course they're not going to do that. So when you say like, are they going to replicate the gym? It's like, no, they're going to build something all new and say it's way better.
It's funny you mentioned that. I was listening to something to wrestle with. I want to say last week, a recent episode. I think it was last week's episode where they were talking about WrestleMania 20.
Yeah.
I believe, and they were asking like, Bruce still wasn't there for 30, but he was like, why do you think that like they never did that?
No, it was a good episode. I was at that one.
A 20?
Mm-hmm.
And he was basically just kind of saying like, like as great as that sounds and as cool as it would be to like charge a premium ticket, to like charge like a lot more
Yeah.
to equal the same money, but the people who go get like an even more intimate old school WrestleMania, like sounds cool in theory, but like at the end of the day, they want to get as many people there as possible.
Yeah, you're losing out on a ton of money. Just like not only that, but the city loses out on tons of money too with the tourism dollars that everybody brings in. If you have 80,000, 90,000, 100,000 people there compared to like 19,000.
Well, it's become the Super Bowl and the Olympics,
Yeah.
not on that scale. But I
Yeah.
mean, in terms of like where
It
people are
could get
bidding,
there.
Yeah.
where people are bidding ahead of time, trying to get where there's lots of places that because they want to bring the economy, they want to help the economy.
I
with it.
hope they bring WrestleMania to the new stadium in LA.
They will.
They will.
I
They
know,
will.
but
They
like
have
no, but like
to.
We're lucky.
ASAP. I mean,
We're lucky in that respect where like we're on that list of places they
God,
like to
that'd
go.
be so convenient to like be able to have WrestleMania
dude,
in our own
I've
town.
been thinking about that day for years.
Yeah, me too. I've been pumped for it. They'll totally do it.
Hey,
once it
I love
happens.
how we're like all pumped for something that's never been announced and there's no
Dude, it's
perspective.
gotta
to it.
happen.
It's
in
given.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on. They'll
I
totally.
know it's going to happen. I'm with you guys on this, okay?
It's gonna freaking
You guys,
happen,
you guys
Eli.
need this now. You're like, put it in my veins.
And
I
last,
just the idea that I wouldn't have to get on a plane and go like, and I could just go home and sleep at my bed after WrestleMania. That just sounds awesome.
yeah, totally, absolutely.
Just take an Uber home for like 20 minutes.
Because it's been a while since that, right?
Last time that they
With
were
John
in,
Cena and
it was
Batista
WrestleMania
won the-
21.
Yeah.
I believe
Yeah.
was the last time they were in California. No, well, they were last time they were in LA. I guess they were in the Bay Area, obviously for WrestleMania.
Yeah, I meant
31,
LA.
but-
Yeah, I meant
but
LA. And last thing I'll say about the WWE headquarters thing. You mentioned like no one wants to go to Stamford, Connecticut for a vacation, so it's maybe not the best place for a museum. But I will say this much: like, is Canton, Ohio, really that much of a destination place? And the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame does well. It's a thing. People go there.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see what like their attendance figures are like. Actually, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is in Cleveland, so that's a little bit
Wait,
more.
isn't it Canton, Ohio?
Oh, I don't know. I thought it was in Cleveland. My bad.
Am I wrong? I could be wrong.
I don't know, but like what's it called? Where's the base?
Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland's a Canton. Where'd you get that?
I
Yeah,
don't
Cleveland's is people go to Cleveland.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess.
I wouldn't. Yeah,
It's not like a destination
No,
place
but
for
people,
tourists.
but like people go there.
People go to Connecticut.
I mean,
Not
they're-
really.
you know.
No, I live there. I was like,
But
does
it-
anybody live here?
Well, that's what I
But
mean.
like you said, it's 40 minutes from New York,
But
too.
but the thing is, like, well, they could put it right outside of New York or somewhere in New York that's not as quite as expensive or an emerging area or something like that, and like probably get the same space, probably not pay that much more for it too, but put it centrally located in a place that people are going to mass travel to.
I would imagine
Like Vegas, I can't believe they haven't done it in Las Vegas. Like that to me, just like even though like Vegas isn't like necessarily the biggest place that in terms of business and everything, it just seems like the kind of place that could house that where people would go there for other reasons outside of it.
I would imagine, and then we'll move topics here. As much as I like the idea because I've always wanted to go to Titan Towers.
Yeah.
I would imagine that phase 2 of the Performance Center, when they finally outgrow the one they're currently in. That it's been 5 years already.
Let's pick the 2 points on the map in America where nobody wants to go.
People love to go to Florida, Disneyland.
Nobody wants to
Disney
live
World.
there.
No, but for
People
traveling,
will travel,
there's a
but
tourist
nobody wants to
destination
live there.
No. I'm talking
about the people. No, I'm okay. But tourists aren't going to the performance center.
No. What I'm saying though, but in terms of a tourist destination, I feel like they could easily make an area on there where they don't have to rely on Full Sail. They don't have to rely on the PC. They don't have all these different things, and instead of having similar to the new office, how they're going to take the production studio, they're going to take headquarters and merge them. I could see them creating their own campus space like this, where there's an arena there that they can film just like at Full Sail, but it's theirs. They can film whatever the fuck they want there, whenever they want. They don't have to worry about scheduling.
That'd
Over
be nice.
here is a Hall of Fame and fun things you can do, and over here is the Performance Center or whatever. I feel like that makes the most sense.
Yeah, I get that.
It's going to be such a great product when we have kids. They're in for such a treat.
Yeah.
If they like it.
Oh man, having kids.
I'm gonna be blessed with like a quarterback like athlete. Watch, it's gonna come out of nowhere.
He's gonna hate professional wrestling.
He's just gonna love collegiate sports.
I'm probably gonna have like powder.
Dad, play catch with me. Oh shit.
I can barely handle dogs. I don't know about kids, man. Okay, let's move on to one of the bigger stories of the week, and that is Kurt Angle announcing his opponent for WrestleMania. I love it because
it's a swerve.
I hope it is.
It's gotta be.
But I just love it because I haven't seen one announcement so universally hated in a long time.
Yeah.
To where everybody, I mean, even Kurt Angle's wife.
John Cena.
Kurt Angle went out afterwards and posted something on Instagram.
Do you feel bad for Baron Corbin at this point? Like, the reaction's so negative.
Did
I'm
you
kinda
hear
like,
the
Aw.
audience when they said Baron Corbin? It was audible. Oh! Like, it wasn't boo. It wasn't a
It's
cheer.
just, like, I feel like they do stuff like this all the time, so it doesn't surprise me, I
had
guess.
to pause and rewind it. The audience reaction was so awesome.
Yeah, I laughed too. The audience reaction was classic.
It's like, ah!
To answer Eli's question, I'm gonna say yes. I do feel bad for Baron Corbin a little bit here.
Like, it's almost like the reaction was so negative that there's no positive reaction to it. There's nobody who reacted to it like, yes! Do you think there's one fan of the world that went, yes!
Rachel.
Mom!
Rachel. Because she likes Baron Corbin.
She does like Baron Corbin, Rachel.
I mean,
but I feel like even there's the only person I would say is I remember when I went to WrestleMania a few years ago, I sat in front of this girl, this woman, and she was the biggest Baron Corbin fan in the freaking world.
They're out there.
I follow her on Twitter now, I think, and she, loves Baron Corbin.
I was at SummerSlam in New York, and 2 seats for me was a girl in a Bludgeon Brothers shirt. I was like, what? Like, who is this person?
I actually saw that shirt in the clearance section when I was looking for a gift for someone the other day. For like so cheap. I want to say it was like $5 or $4.
How
or
much
something
do
like
you
that.
think that the Bludgeon Brothers get off of a $5 sale of a shirt?
Dude, they weren't even a team for a year.
Really?
50 cents? Right?
I don't know.
Were they around for a year?
No way.
Bludgeon Brothers?
Not for a
No
full
way.
year.
Not a whole
They were
year.
at WrestleMania. How long?
And now we're back at WrestleMania.
And they're not a team.
They're not a team anymore.
Yeah. You're right.
They won, didn't they? No, they won at SummerSlam,
And
right?
Harper just seems unfiltered on social media these days.
I think he's riding it out. I think
Yeah,
he's
he's
just like,
totally-
I think he's like, I'm not showing up for work. I'm gonna wait. My contract's gonna expire.
You know
Like,
what the problem is? I think one thing is that a lot of people think this is Kurt Angle's last match ever. And I don't think this is Kurt Angle's last match ever.
What makes you say so?
Because they haven't said retirement match. They've been very careful in not saying retirement match. They keep saying farewell match, which means Kurt Angle's definitely going to wrestle at some point again. Not in WWE maybe, but Kurt Angle's like not retiring because otherwise they would say retirement match. I mean, it's not like they've never said that before. They said it was Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels. They've said no. They've said farewell match or like his WWE farewell, his WrestleMania farewell. They keep using the words farewell like as if to me it feels like Vince was like, "Hey man, I like having you around, but you're not gonna be wrestling anymore." And it was like, "Well,
Can I have one more?
Can I have one more?" And it was like, "Okay, we'll do a farewell tour."
Yeah.
But I don't think this is him retiring, so to speak.
Okay,
you know?
well, I think the whole.
but you think last time in
important-
WWE though?
Yeah,
That's
so
what
I think
believe. Or Not even that. It would not surprise me to down the line in a few years from now him to be in a Royal Rumble, or it's just like the end of his act.
It kind of shocked me when Ric Flair didn't come out of retirement at the subsequent WrestleMania when Mickey Rooney got involved and everything like that. I totally thought
wasn't he supposed to?
I don't remember. It's been so long.
I
now.
100% thought Flair was coming out of retirement immediately, and I was like, God dang it.
Okay, so now that they announced that Samoa Joe and Rey Mysterio are going to wrestle, it doesn't seem like John Cena's in the U.S. title picture. Do you honestly think they're going to swerve now and maybe throw John Cena in there? Or
Like just make it a three-way?
No, and have him do something where he beats up Corbin and says like, that's ruthless aggression, and then he comes out.
I thought you were still talking about.
That's what's gonna happen, isn't it?
Yeah,
he's totally gonna beat up Baron Corbin and make
a
ruthless
the reason
aggression.
I said that, I thought you were referring to the U.S. title.
Hey, but
No.
We're back on the Kurt Angle thing. Okay.
Listen, people are.
It's got to be a swerve. It has to be.
If they do that, what you just described, I hope that they wait to bring Cena out till WrestleMania.
They will.
Like,
Yes.
But see,
like not even lead into it and let it, like, because that would be a moment. That would be an epic moment. Not only that, but Baron Corbin would get to have a moment too, because like he could still get introduced at WrestleMania. He could still come down. People could hate him, and people are going to hate him at WrestleMania.
Ooh, the heat's gonna
and
be
then all of a
insane.
sudden, if like they have that, that's all they need out of Corbin really at that event. So then if they bring in Cena after that, and it's a surprise, that would be that whole, even if the match sucked, the whole experience of that beginning and how they got there would make it worth it.
It wouldn't need to be great.
No,
it wouldn't.
No,
need
the moment, the leading to it is the moment.
all right. Well, hopefully they do that because I think people are definitely.
Wouldn't you
unhappy.
enjoy that?
Yeah, I'd enjoy it more than Baron Corbin versus Kurt Angle.
And when John Cena's music hit, I'd be like, oh, I'd be very excited. I can already feel it.
Yeah,
I'm into that. No, when I was talking to Ryback on his podcast, and
every time you say that, it's great. I have to have you repeat it every time you say that sentence.
well, Ryback and I were discussing this on his podcast, and he actually, when I was saying I wanted to do the Velveteen Dream or something like that, he actually kind of talked me. He brought me around on it and talked me into the John Cena thing. So yeah, I'm into it.
Why wouldn't it be John?
Well, because they said it's gonna be Baron Corbin.
No, I'm saying, why would you want it to be anyone else than John?
Oh, because I don't know. Like, didn't seem
Who would you
to
want?
me. It didn't seem full circle for John Cena. It seems. Oh, sorry. It didn't seem full circle for Kurt Angle. It feels full circle for John Cena.
Well, first circle for Kurt, it would be Brock, and Brock would eat his lunch.
That's why I didn't feel like you needed a full circle moment with him. I feel
Who
like you put
did
someone
Kurt
over on the way
Angle
out.
debut against? Meat?
No, Taz. No, Taz
No,
debuted
it was
against
Meat.
Kurt
It
Angle.
was Meat.
Yeah, you're right. No,
They
Taz,
should bring back
Taz
Meat.
debuted in the Rumble against
Sean
Kurt Angle.
Stasiak.
They should bring back Sean Stasiak.
He's been calling people out on Twitter, man. Bring back
That's the
Meat.
swerve.
That's it. Oh,
And the
man.
Pretty Mean Sisters.
Yeah, PMS.
PMS and Meat are going to come down, teach Kurt Angle a lesson.
Is it bad if I say I thought that was a funny idea, the PMS thing, when I was a kid?
No, because it was funny at the time.
It was funny at the time, yeah. Meat was a weird, man. Meat, what's a weirder name for a wrestler, Meat or Test?
You hit me with Test. I didn't see that coming because Test is the weirdest one.
But Meat's pretty weird, too.
Meat, but you could kind of see Meat working
They had
in
a
a
lot of-
world of wrestling,
Because
big,
he's
beefy
like a-
dudes. Yeah. So, yeah, it is
a piece of
weird.
meat.
Yeah, it is weird, but you could find your way there. But Test is like, huh? And then you have the theme song, which we've already looked up the theme lyrics to that, and that's insane. Nothing about it made sense.
Yeah.
What was Meat's theme song?
It wasn't just the PMS theme song.
I don't
remember.
I love that you remember PMS's theme song.
How do you remember that so
Because
much?
I
How
beat
do
up
you
Meat
remember
all
that?
the time in Smackdown. Just bring it.
No, wait, I want to see how good Jamie's
His
I think that's
PMS
it.
interpretation is.
Yeah, no,
I hope it is too. If it's not,
I think it's
if
it.
it's not this, it's something clearly because you knew it right away.
No, that's
not it.
No,
Yeah,
that's not what I'm thinking of.
That's not it.
He didn't come out to that.
No, he didn't come out to that. That's the Pretty Mean Sisters theme.
I will
it says.
definitely say that I never ever was interested or like entertained really by Meat. Like it was never a character. Or
I don't think
wrestler.
anybody was, dude.
Yeah.
That's why he wasn't around.
Yeah. Hey, I don't mean to sound like a jerk here, but I wasn't a big Meat fan, guys.
I can't find Meat's theme song because when I search Meat WWE theme, it's just a million versions.
See, I feel like
Ryback's
I feel like
theme song.
I feel like a
Meat on
character
the
like
table.
Meat these
Great.
days has a lot more like options on the table. Like he could become a vegan named Meat, and that would just be like such a weird character.
Whenever me and my friends would do shotgun beers, we would always do it to Ryback's theme song.
Oh,
It's a good theme. Ryback's theme song was awesome. Big fan of Ryback's theme song.
Everything about him was great.
Although I was telling you the other day, the name "Meat on the Table" is a real weird name for a song.
Meat on the table, yeah, that's what you are.
Okay, so
I know all the words to that song.
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Okay, so another big story of the week was involving independent wrestler David Starr. He put out this promo.
I'm very confused what's going on. Can you explain what that
I will explain for you
Thank
what
you,
happened,
Ryan.
Jamie.
But can you explain it for me as well?
I will explain it for both of you.
Okay.
You know what? Actually, the promo's only.
I don't want it to be too long. We listened to like Meltzer on the show last week for
Yeah,
like
that
a
was
solid
like a
4
solid
minutes.
3 minutes.
And no one complained about it though, but okay.
What, are you just going to start playing his show for your show
No,
now?
I'm not.
We're just sitting here and twiddling our
I was
thumbs.
shocked. No one I was like, oh man, I was worried there would be people that heard that and got all mad. But
Oh,
that
wait, what am I
wasn't.
doing? I can hear it without.
But yeah, the promo's only 2 minutes, so
Okay.
I'll just put it on real fast. 'Cause
Yes.
It was intense. This is for those of you unaware, it's independent wrestler David Starr, and he's supposed to be wrestling in an upcoming match in Israel against Jay Lethal for the ROH title. This is what he had to say about it in a promo that he put on Twitter. Wait, if I put the sound, there we go.
Ring of Honor Wrestling is a stalwart of pure professional wrestling in an industry that is monopolized by sports entertainment. And their standard bearer, Jay Lethal, is the man that I'm wrestling. But no, I'm not wrestling you, am I, Jay? I'm not wrestling you. I'm wrestling Black Machismo. So why don't you just do it, Jay? Why don't you just spit in my face? Why don't you just disrespect me? Because that is absolutely a complete and total joke. Something else that's a joke is that Ring of Honor Wrestling used to represent pure, independent, professional wrestling instead of representing a far right-wing, extremist, corporate propaganda machine. Do you think it was some kind of cute publicity stunt to let the little Jew boy get a flight to Israel to wrestle for your championship? Is that what you thought? Did you think that? Because no, I'm not wrestling for your championship because I'm a Jewish kid in Israel. I'm wrestling for your championship because I'm one of the best independent professional wrestlers on the fucking planet. Sinclair Broadcasting, you think you're doing me a favor by having me wrestle for your championship in the homeland? No, because it's not just the homeland for me because I'm a Jewish man. It's supposed to be the homeland for everybody. It's supposed to be a place where we can all seek peace and refuge. It's supposed to be a place that doesn't deprive its citizens of basic civil human rights. But you know what? I'll take the favor, man. I will. Sinclair Broadcasting, I'll take the bone you're throwing at me because on the morning after April 21st, you will have to wake up to your worst nightmare. You'll have to wake up to the fact that your championship is now represented by a progressive Jew named David Starr.
Which is a pretty dope promo.
Yeah.
That's the message aside, and like that's an impassioned promo, and it's
That's Foley Jr. interview promo.
That's
right there.
There's he said a lot of very powerful things, regardless of what perspective you may have on it.
Yes, absolutely.
Like
And
I feel different from having heard it.
It's crazy because far right, is something I guess is said about Ring of Honor. A lot of people say that about WWE too. Nobody in the company up until maybe Big E recently, with however you want to interpret that one, has really called in the question the politics of the higher ups in any company.
Well, and I don't know if you're familiar. Kind of one of the things he's talking about here is it was a big news story last year, and it's continued to be a news story where Sinclair Broadcasting, the company who owns Ring of Honor, they own a ton of news stations.
Like local news stations
all across the country, right? And so what the big controversy was is that they basically sent out a script for everybody for all their local stations to read that are pushing certain agendas, certain political agendas.
It's something basically. It's kind of tapping into the Trumpian tone of like fake news and things along those lines. But there was a video that was put together that showed all of the videos from all the different places at once,
that, yeah.
and it's like haunting in how robotic it almost sounds and everything like that.
Yeah, I remember that video.
Like when he was saying all that, like the far right wing propaganda machine or whatever he referred to it as. Immediately, I was like, well, he's talking about Sinclair right there. Like, I mean, that's like. And I will definitely say that his references to his Jewish background and everything like that in almost like opposition to them. Like I don't know if there's a truth to that. If he really feels that,
from what I've heard, there's 100% truth to it.
Like I mean, it felt real. Like it felt really real.
He's not in Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
And then they book him for a show in Israel called the Seder Bash or something like that. So I mean, clearly they were trying to book the Jewish guy and be funny the fact the Jewish guy was going to wrestling in Israel.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's the only Jewish guy on the card.
Well, it's in Israel. It's not a Ring of Honor show in Israel.
Oh, okay. Then
it's
there's
Jay
probably
Lethal
a few people
defending the Ring of Honor title at a show.
Oh, okay,
in Israel.
then there will be a lot of Israelis.
Yeah, so there'll be a lot of them there.
Never mind then. But because you know what, this isn't only really just saying because everybody really when they attack because if it's an attack on the higher ups, that's been done before, obviously, plenty of times. But this has never been really going out and saying, these higher ups are bad people, not bad characters. Yeah. These are bad
like
people.
Like the people running the company are
racist.
Like more
people.
Like no moral fiber.
Yes,
which is crazy. Like and David Starr is a guy who is very strong in his beliefs.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it surprised me necessarily. But I was kind of surprised at the reaction from Ring of Honor.
I heard they made him take it down.
Yeah, so basically they were not thrilled with it.
Yeah.
And, and the higher-ups there reached out to IPWA, who's the company in Israel who's doing it, and basically implied to them, either have him take this down or we're going to pull Jay Lethal and the ROH title from your show.
Yeah.
And these people had already paid money to fly Jay Lethal out, to make all this happen that, David Starr didn't want to leave these guys out to dry, and lose a bunch of money. So he obliged. It wasn't necessarily because he was like a bitch and trying to take it down because ROH were like, hey, take it down. It was more so like he didn't want these people to lose out on money.
I get it.
But it's interesting to me. It's like, it's interesting to me because it's funny how in reacting if you're in the bigger entity and you react to someone trying to get a reaction out of you, it's interesting how that just amplifies it if you follow suit in that.
And if they think that, because it's also archaic thinking, it's like if he takes it down, then it's gone.
Yes, it's the internet. Like now that video, I put that video on Twitter.
It's everywhere.
I put that video on Twitter because I had a feeling. I also save a lot of the controversial videos when I'm like, that might get pulled. I should probably save that just in case. So then I included it on Twitter in the link for the story. And like now that video has 136,000 views.
Yeah.
And so like, and I bunch of wrestlers and personalities tweeted. It's funny, you mentioned Mick Foley, and Mick Foley tweeted the video. And
it was very, it reminded me, it took me there. Like the Mick Foley, the famous
I'm
Mankind
curious,
JR interview.
I wonder what Jay Lethal's reaction was to it.
Because
I would assume that, an African-American man who grew up in the United States may understand some of the feelings and the sentiments that this wrestler is sharing as well, too. So I would be curious to understand what the man behind the character of Jay Lethal.
So he wouldn't be mad because he is David Starr got more promotion for this match in this promo than anything that Ring of Honor had done.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw how many people clicked the story when I wrote that.
Yeah.
I wrote when the title match got announced.
Yeah.
And I wrote this video, and I can see the difference in what people care about.
Yeah.
This got people talking about it.
Yeah.
Mick Foley, when he tweeted about it, he said, "One heck of a promo by David Starr here. Funny thing is, if it hadn't been banned, I would have never seen it. David Starr has been one of the top independent workers for quite a while now. Sometimes in this business, we make our own breaks. Maybe this will be David's."
Yeah, I mean, like he said it right there. If they didn't make him get rid of it, then
it probably would have faded off into the ether.
Hey, I would also say, I don't think that the McMahons really care about, like if they piss off Sinclair Media by hiring this guy who said all this bad stuff about him. It's like they're Sinclair Media in a lot of ways is their competition. So at the end of the day, it's like they hired this guy even though he said all the bad stuff about this other wrestling company and their parent company too. It's like they're not gonna. That's nothing bad for them.
No, definitely not. No,
It's a damn good promo.
It's raised his stock considerably.
I think it was kind of. I don't know if this was his intention beforehand, but if it was smart move all around.
Yeah.
That if he foresaw that happening in some way. I mean,
even for a second, and then Jim Cornette looked deeper into because Jim Cornette loved it first.
Did he look deeper into it? Because I didn't see his follow.
Jim Cornette loved it, but then
I was just gonna bring that up next.
Yeah, he looked deeper. Then he was like, "Oh shit, I don't like what Jim." He's like, he doesn't like what else he does.
Oh no! Wait, what? Oh no! Wait.
It broke my heart. I was like, God, finally, Jim Cornette likes somebody.
What is it saying, Ryan?
Oh,
it broke my heart. I thought we finally got Jim Cornette to finally be a little progressive.
Oh, I literally said to Erica last night, I said, you'll never guess this.
Jim Cornette seems all right.
I agree with something Jim Cornette thought today. We actually were on the same page. Damn it.
Did you want that? Was that like...
Well, I more so was just like, hey, cool, good. Like, I don't disagree with everything the guy says.
Yeah.
But then I also thought to myself, I said it, and that is the reason. I said to Erica, I was like, it's so weird to see him praise an indie wrestler. I was like, does he know this person's an indie wrestler?
Read his tweet.
So he's going to say, this is a shame. Not only was this one of the better promos I've seen in a while, he didn't say anything incorrect. If Sinclair are going to be Trump-loving, right-wing nutcases, they have to expect folks to knock them. Don't hold it against Ring of Honor, just corporate. And I was like...
So he thought it was dope.
Yeah.
And then he tweeted,
couldn't help himself.
update on the previous tweet.
He couldn't help it.
Sinclair are still right-wing Trump lovers, but now I find out the guy who cut the great promo has play wrestling matches with / gets beat by girls. So Ring of Honor is disrespecting its own world title just by letting this guy challenge for it. What the fuck? Damn it. Damn it.
You know what? God bless him. God bless him.
I love how
I like Cornette. I got to be honest. Something about him just makes me smile. I don't know what it is.
You know what it is? You know what? There was that time I talked shit to Cornette, and he probably still hates me. I don't know. But I finally started to get better at the fact that of accepting the fact that wrestling fans are just insanely passionate.
Yes.
And that we all just think differently.
Yeah.
And it's okay. And like he's just extremely passionate. And you know what?
He is.
Cool. Just cool, man. Whatever. Like I don't agree with a word you say, but cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of like me and Roca on the Raw and Smackdown recaps. Although I'm not saying Roca's like Jim Cornette, but we don't often agree. Like the three of us, we agree pretty often. That's why it's kind of like sitting around with a group of your friends. It's different than the Raw Smackdown recaps. Roca and I don't agree on half the shit that happened during the show. I'll be like, I love that, and he's like, what? I hated that, and vice versa. So. So whatever, man. Like, I get it. I'm getting better at that. Like, whatever. But I was like, for once, I was like, oh, maybe I'm on the same side as Jim Cornette. Everyone's weird. Glad you showed me that. So
but he makes me laugh for those reasons.
Yeah, totally.
Because
absolutely.
he really couldn't just leave well enough alone.
Update on the previous
post.
And
that's why he's Jim Cornette, and that's why I hope he never changes.
Hey, you should never be on the same page as Jim Cornette because the very meaning of that man is to be on the opposite side.
That's how I feel about it. That's honestly why I did get a little nervous over it, and then I was like, no, I'm on the right side of this one. Like, I'm definitely on the right side here.
Like, he's the kind of guy who'd be like, that over there is orange. He'd be like, yeah, Jim, it's orange. Fuck you, it's blue. Like, it's like I think he likes.
Yeah.
He feeds off. And some people do. It's a thrill.
That's how he's earned his living.
I like being contrarian sometimes.
I'm a Jim Cornette fan.
Okay.
I don't, like I said, like you said, a lot of his opinions I don't agree with, but just his passion and his piss and vigor, I don't know. It's entertaining.
Yeah. I
enjoy
that.
it.
No, I 100% agree with you there. Okay, let's talk about, I found this story interesting this week, and that is WWE announcing for the first time that the Warrior Award is going to go to an actual employee of the company. And,
super dope.
I like it because even though Warrior...
Wish it was named something else.
Even though Warrior sucked. I mean, even though Warrior was like, not a good person. At least, you know, he did have this good idea. He did.
Yes.
You can give him that. He did have this good idea of like paying back to the people who helped
behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And obviously WWE shifted the intended goal of the award. You know, when he brought it, you know, the way he phrased it.
Yeah.
And turned it into you know, award they gave to cancer patients and people dealing with big struggle or debilitating things. But I hope that going forward, I hope this wasn't just because of her connection to Make-A-Wish.
Yeah.
And I hope that it was just more so the gateway into getting
But just opening up other kinds of people that they can induct.
Because-
in that, too.
Well, I think it is because the way they've been phrasing it was everybody's been writing one of the unsung heroes of the WWE, and I think that's kind of falling into the category of, you know, a lot of people backstage.
Yeah.
You know, so
And I think that, you know, look, I very much think that it's a good thing that what WWE does, where they try to help people that are dealing with struggling with illness and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, the Hall of Fame is a television show.
Yeah.
And there is no connection between those people they've given the Warrior Award to and the audience that they are serving.
Yeah.
I very much feel like the wrestling fan would much rather learn about someone who's been vital behind the scenes for a long time.
Somebody else who contributed greatly to it. You know, like
Is that bad?
No, I just can see your adoring public just writing. Oh, Ryan says cancer patients don't deserve awards.
I feel like I worded that to
Well,
where it didn't
I
come
had-
across that way.
I
I
had-
didn't mean it in that regard.
No, and I'll one up what you were saying. I think that they should do a separate, smaller ceremony that maybe they could televise something like that for all the Warriors that they induct that year. So like induct a bunch of them, have them all come out on stage during the Hall of Fame. Don't give them a speech there,
Sure.
but just like induct a bunch of Warriors.
Sure.
You know, so then they could induct people like, you know, with their arm
I
behind the
think
scenes.
there's an idea there.
Yeah.
Because then
that's
maybe
better.
making the trophy a little more open.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, you wouldn't, like, you say you knew, like, when you were growing up, you knew Johnny, who was a cancer survivor, but then he went on to, like, win the Junior Olympics or some shit.
Yeah.
He won a Warrior Award. That would be kind of cool. It's like a presidential fitness award or some
like,
shit.
you know,
like,
open up the realm of who you can give this to, but give it to more people every year.
If I
and
was
have
a little
them
kid and I learned that I could aspire to get a Warrior Award, I probably would have been more
because
sports.
like, you know, like it's a great motivation or inspiration for somebody who is dealing with a major ailment. It is a phenomenal thing to fight for if you are a young athlete, let's say, and also it's a great thing to award to somebody like, let's say, like Jim Johnson. Like that dude deserves some kind of recognition in a
he
Hall of
probably
Fame
never
setting.
will because he's not even in the company anymore.
Well,
They'll have to give it to him.
but
one
he's
day.
like the level of person where it's like, hey, why isn't that guy in the Hall of Fame? And it's like, well, there's not really
An award for that.
There's not really a place for a non-performer or celebrity in the Hall of Fame. So it's almost like they need to open up that Warrior category, make it its own thing, have those people be a small segment during the Hall of Fame ceremony itself, and allow it just to be something that all degrees of Warriors can win.
I'm into that.
I'm into that
Yeah,
because
no,
it
I'm into
becomes
that.
bigger than him.
Yeah. And then
You could
it's-
even turn into a video package.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's like it would make for great content. As for a live, you know, for a live show like that, probably not. Like,
No.
I mean, not even the wrestlers can hold their audience in a live setting like that.
Yeah, totally, absolutely.
That picture. Oh, and I can't believe you only saw that recently. That photo of Goldberg's acceptance speech.
Yeah,
Ugh.
that was bad. That was bad.
I would have looked at it and I've just been like, thanks. You know, like I would have been like, who am I doing this for?
I hate that I don't really care about going to the Hall of Fame this year.
No, it's just.
I
like,
love DX, but it's the only thing I really care about. And look, Harlem Heat was great, but I also saw Booker T go in the Hall of Fame already, and like I'd much rather go to like another wrestling show.
Hey,
or something like that.
I love how that situation was exacerbated this past week with like people up in an uproar about like Harlem Heat
What the
doesn't
hell?
belong in there.
What the hell? That makes no fucking
I
sense.
know. Like
Like what?
I understand where they're coming from in regard to Torrie. I understand. Like I'm not disagreeing with Torrie going into the Hall of Fame. I'm saying I can understand where they're jumping off into with the level of female
she wasn't
performer.
a competitor.
Yeah, exactly. Because like we have a totally different kind of women's wrestler in this day and age, comparatively speaking, to how they were presented in at that era. But somebody had to bridge the gap too, you know. And so
Torrie Torrie.
And she was there for a long time. She came from WCW. Like for me, anybody who manages to successfully transition from WCW to WWF, WWE, and stay for a long period of time ultimately deserves to stay in the Hall of Fame because barely anybody did.
She was the result of a lot of clicks on the internet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Torrie Wilson.
Dude, she was the baddest one, in my opinion.
Yeah, dude.
And
when she behind the curtain, she's friends with Jamie, and she was at one of his parties once with that dog, and I was just like, I couldn't even like attempt to go near her. Like I was like just in the corner, just like, oh my god, Torrie Wilson's at this party.
And anybody who would actually meet her wouldn't even dream of ever saying anything cross about her. She's the nicest woman on the planet.
Yeah,
I think I did say hi to her for like. I think you introduced me to her.
She is I did, and she's the nicest woman ever.
In regard to Harlem Heat too, separate from Booker T. You know, I recall when
that makes me angry. It's like
I got Meltzer again too.
I got into WCW. Like I started watching WCW actively in like '95, and I remember when I came into it, I recognized a lot of faces like the Nasty Boys and others who had been in WWF prior to that. But I remember seeing Harlem Heat, and Harlem Heat was like it was one of the few people, Sting as well, and one or two others that I looked at in WCW. And was like, I don't know these guys, but these guys are established top dudes in what they're doing.
I felt the same way when I saw them.
I distinctively remember before I was even into WCW, like when I was first kind of like getting into wrestling. I remember going to like my brother's friend's house somewhere, and it was in a bad neighborhood, but I remember we went there and they were watching Thunder for some reason in the living room, and I remember seeing Harlem Heat walk out.
Who's this guy with the nose brace?
The nose thing. They had the cool fire things, and I was like, these guys.
The thing that makes them breathe easier.
Anybody who was around in WCW, especially in that first summer of the NWO in 1996, where they were filming a lot of the Nitros from Disney MGM Studios in Florida, like they filmed there like every week for like 12 weeks straight, it seemed like. And anybody that was around in that era, to me, was like, that's like the pinnacle era of WCW. If you were a top actor in that period, you are Hall of Fame caliber.
And honestly, their look was incredible. Like in my opinion, they had this is just my personal opinion. They had the best tag team gear out of any tag team ever. My opinion.
Oh, absolutely. They were that was rad, their gear, dude.
Either the flame on the red gear or my personal favorite, the orange flame on the black gear.
Yeah.
That's my personal
favorite.
favorite.
I also liked when Booker T had that weird loop thing. Was it Booker T or was it Stevie Ray who had the loop?
I think it was Stevie.
Stevie had the loop, right?
Didn't they both have those?
I'd have to look it up.
It looks like one of those loops that holds up a shower curtain.
Man,
yeah.
And man, that theme
they both
song
did.
is great.
Yeah, they both had
and
it.
Sherry was with them too. Like, I mean, you know,
Sherry... Yeah, I saw Stevie Ray say he thinks Sherry should be included in that and in going in with them as. But
Sherry's in already, is she not?
Yeah, she is.
But so is Booker T.
Yeah, but
Sherry
she got
inducted in 2006.
Yeah, I was surprised too. The Meltzer thing. It was Meltzer who said it. It was like they brought him to him, if I recall, and he like. I could have swore I could have mixed up, but I think that on his show it was brought up to him, and he just laughed at the fact that Stevie Ray was.
He didn't say why.
No, he just laughed. He literally, if I recall, he just laughed. Wait, like
at a certain point though, if you like, it's a tag team that's going in too, so it's almost unfair to pull out Booker T or Stevie Ray in that regard. If you inducted Demolition. And you looked at the individual wrestlers in Demolition, you'd be like, neither of these individually deserve to be in here.
Might add, by the way, I swear to God, the announcers... Stevie Ray's in Hall. The announcers are joking that Booker T is going in again, and they suggest maybe he can also go in as G.I. Bro, and they should find a way to have him go in 5 times. This is a discussion by the announcers about this Hall of Fame.
They're not really serious.
Seriously? They were not taking this seriously. It's hard to take it seriously. Stevie Ray's going into the Hall of Fame. Hey,
damn.
10 times.
That was mean, right?
Yeah, it's pretty mean.
That's just being a dick.
I know, I thought the same thing, but like, I don't know.
Hey, the response by Booker T was not kind towards Meltzer either.
I didn't put in one part in the story because I was like, I don't really want to.
Yeah, you made it seem like he was yelling, and he definitely. I heard it.
The part I took out. he literally said that he hopes he doesn't see Meltzer in public somewhere at a Starbucks because he'll kick his ass. I was like, whoa. Okay.
That'd be crazy if you saw that.
Imagine. All right, we got to get out of here. The light's been on for way longer than I was allowed. Jamie, where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me at JAMIE_IOVINE on Twitter and on Instagram at JAMIEIOVINE. Or you could tune into the network for our exclusive drops, our awesome products, because we actually, for the month of April, we have some heat coming up. We got some exclusive products that you won't get anywhere else from Billie Eilish, Bodega New Balance, Stance Socks, Urban Decay Makeup, NBA 2K19 and LeBron James, Metacom, Toy Story, and for a special event for the Family Guy 20th anniversary. So be sure to tune into those shows.
What about you, Eli? Where can we find you at?
Twitter, at Elijah Bates. Instagram, at Brindlebeard.
And you can find me. I'm at Ryan Satin on all social media. At Wrestling Sheet for the website. ProWrestlingSheet.com. That's where you can find the stories that we post throughout the week on everything going on in the world of professional wrestling. Thought I had that muted. My apologies. Also, make sure you check out our YouTube channel. YouTube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. It's where you can find the Raw and Smackdown recaps that we do throughout the week. It's where you can find the video of Wrestling Sheet Radio. You get to see our beautiful mugs if you watch on there. If you already are watching on there, hello. Thank you for doing so. I appreciate it. But while you're there, make sure you subscribe to the Wrestling Sheet YouTube channel. The button's down there. It helps me out a lot. Definitely please help me out by hitting that subscribe button. But also, make sure you hit the comments. Leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of the show. Any specific thing that we were talking about here. Titan Tower. Anything that we were discussing throughout the show. Leave a comment. I definitely check them all. Also, if you only want to listen to the audio while you're driving or cooking or working out or doing whatever, make sure you subscribe there as well. It's Podcast One. It's on iTunes. It's on Spotify, Stitcher, all the major podcast platforms. Just search Wrestling Sheet Radio. Okay, that's it. We're done. Officially tapping out for now. Until next time, stay out of the dirt and keep your eye on the sheet.